Talk about it all here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Make sure and hit that like button, share button, comment button.
You know, one thing about Jaden that I've tried to talk to him about is tightening his chin strap. Because he doesn't tighten it, so every time he gets hit, it looks like his helmet's all messed up. And it's like, oh, God, he just got rocked.
For the win! Caught! It's gone! LSU does it!
After fucking Saturday night in Tiger Stadium, boys. Are you kidding me?
Well, LSU fan came stuck his spike in my booty.
That motherfucker!
Fan brought his 2 grandkids by and literally was just 30 seconds. Just wanted to say thank you for the team and the season and what you did and how much it means to everybody here is truly what makes LSU special.
Yeah. Coach Kelly, we're official.
Finally,
I'm
get a
telling
chance to meet you. Thought I had to get a private audience with the Pope. There's Jordy.
Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. Yeah, you see the notification. We about to go live. We got all your favorite guests. We got them in line. It's the Jordy Culotta Show.
And
Come have a good time.
Clearing up, answering the question. I thought, my God, if Chica is offered this job, she's going to take it.
It's just a crazy, fun time at LSU right now. Isn't this what everybody loves?
From the boot to the east to the west coast. No matter where we at, open up the phone lines. Come and join the show. Make sure you tell your friends about Jordy Culotta Show. Yeah.
Let's go! Let's go! All right. Big start. Big day. Nice start.
It's the Jordy Culotta Show. Come have a good time.
Coach, it's great to meet you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you for the time. All right, good morning and welcome in here on this Tuesday, this Mardi Gras Tuesday, of course. First off, happy Mardi Gras to everyone watching. If you're celebrating, if you're at a parade, if you're going to a parade, if you're not, if you're just going to sit at home,
Stay safe.
enjoy it. Thank you for tuning in this morning. No breaks for us. Me and Lloyd had a little discussion about if we were going to take off for Mardi Gras. We're like, nah. We're not going to go anywhere. I mean, if we wouldn't have had the shows more, we would have
what
just
after
both
what I saw on
slept
the
in.
internet and what's happening at Mardi Gras, I should have gone.
Yeah, that video.
Yeah,
I'm sure everyone in the chat's probably seen it as well.
it's definitely. Yeah,
You know
Brian
exactly
Burgess.
what video we're talking about. It's the one that caught Lloyd off guard yesterday.
It did.
in the
I haven't
middle
been
of the
shocked
show.
in a while.
I knew exactly what video it was. We're not going to discuss. It was a king cake being thrown
From a balcony.
At another individual.
And then there's a third
and then
party.
A third individual decided to join in on the party.
All the fun.
It's definitely like jarring when you watch.
Noah thinks they know each other. There's no way.
I don't.
They do now.
Yeah, very well, very well. But good morning. We appreciate you guys getting with us this morning on this Mardi Gras Tuesday, Fat Tuesday.
Keep your hands to yourself.
Of course. Sabian said the cake video.
Yes.
I'm sure. Like I said, I'm sure everyone's seen it.
Can't play it.
Boosie got it out on Twitter pretty quick.
Got it, Sonny.
It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. But that's not the only news we've got. Don't forget, we're brought to you every day by R&B Builders. Red Bourgeois and the crew.
He wasn't looking for a taste of king cake. He was looking for the baby.
That's a good one. Red Bourgeois and the crew. They do great work. Residential, commercial, the whole deal. Phone lines brought to you by Southern Regional Medical Center. Jason Ramazan, Charlie Harvey, the whole team. And then, of course, every day, get Gordon, get it done. 888-8888. Louisiana's big truck lawyer, Gordon McKernan. We're a part of the G Squad. GetGordon.com is the website. He's Louisiana's NIL king for players all over the state, not just LSU, all universities throughout the state. But yes, happy Mardi Gras to everyone in the chat. Sam Hanna asks how them rowback hoodies fit. How do they look?
We're twinning.
How do they look?
We're double.
They're excellent. They're excellent. That dog.
Pet that dog.
Pet that dog. No, they really are. Truly. We put out the clip yesterday, the ad read. Of course, don't forget TIGERS, 20% off on rowback. It'll be great in time for this weekend if you can get it in time. But if not, LSU baseball gets SEC play started next week. Make sure you're sporting the Tigers in style. Not only are they your Tigers, they're the number 1 ranked Tigers. Number 1 team in the country. Lloyd, were you surprised?
Not as surprised as I was at some things I've seen on Twitter. But yes. Not mad at it.
Of course.
But it does seem like, I guess maybe this is on us. When you look at the weekend, with like the weekend that was and what you did in Frisco, and then even before Frisco, when you have Dallas Baptist, that was a great win.
Right.
And then to beat Nebraska, that seems like a good win. And kind of go undefeated on the weekend. Maybe I guess it goes like level of competition, because I thought Tennessee was going to be ranked 1 just because they're dominating the SEC in terms of statistic-wise. Like, they haven't played as tough a schedule as LSU, but they seem to be, well, I say that because they are the loudest fan base of all time.
Oh, my gosh.
Like, you have a nice thing. I know it hadn't been since 98 since you won a football national championship, but now you think you run baseball. Not the case. LSU, they're like, they think, I saw somebody tweet, like, because they won some national championships in the 90s, that they think they're the orbiter of LSU of college baseball. It's like, yeah, some. They got a whole billboard dedicated to the thing that you're out of room on. Like,
right.
LSU baseball does run college baseball.
100%.
And they've earned that right.
It's not even close.
They won it in 2023.
Right.
Remember when you were the best team of all time?
Yep.
No. 2-Q in Omaha. Get out of here. See ya. LSU's dominating.
And guess who beat you both times?
LSU.
Got you right up out of there.
Beat you in the box and beat you in Omaha.
Come on. Yeah, no. I mean, I'm looking at that Tennessee's schedule, what they've played so far this season. Obviously, they're undefeated up to this point, and they've got a win over Oklahoma State, which is a good Power 4 win. They beat Arizona, but to me, I guess this past week for LSU kind of. Like Lloyd said, it's a big week. You know, when you're talking about Dallas Baptist, who's a ranked program, then you turn around, you go Dallas Baptist, Kansas State, Nebraska. That's 3 games in a row against pretty good baseball programs that LSU is able to go in and take care of business. It's on the road, and so I'm not surprised that LSU is number 1 because I do think they are 100% worthy of that title. But if I had a vote, if I was doing a poll, I would have probably had Tennessee 1, LSU number 2, just because of the way it's played out so far. But obviously a lot of stock was put into this weekend by the people ranking over at D1 Baseball to have LSU come in as the number 1 team in the country. And I'm not going to complain about it because I enjoy watching the number 1 team in the country play baseball. And
Alberto Osuna got denied injunction, remains ineligible with Tennessee baseball. That's shocking. One of the few times that
an injunction gets denied.
Right. Like, this is the same ruling as you had with the Vanderbilt
Diego
quarterback.
Pavia.
Yeah, Diego Pavia, who was able to play again. Alberto Osuna tried to transfer from North Carolina, who was an automatic out against LSU. Like, he struggled in that
100%.
regional. But he tried to transfer to Tennessee and has once again been denied the ability to play ball at Tennessee. So that's an interesting development because, like I said, the Diego Pavia situation, and with how college athletics has basically been ruled with, like, what's the opposite of an iron fist? Like, the most laissez-faire rulings of all time.
Right.
Since it used to be, I guess, the NCAA where you couldn't do anything, and now it's like, oh, whatever, that's fine.
Yeah.
Go ahead. It's like the video of that guy patting down people getting into the concert, that old man.
100%.
That's what the NCAA was. So it's a little shocking to see that they actually ruled against an injunction.
It seems like they're trying to pick their power up a little bit more.
It does.
It seems like they're trying to wake up, which I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest with you. Obviously, there needs to be some sort of ruling power control from somewhere, but we've seen time and time again the NCAA not handle power well, not control things well. And so, although I believe that there needs to be control and structure from somewhere, I don't know if the NCAA, if I trust the NCAA to be the one with that power. And as you can see, isn't there an NIL hearing on Capitol Hill? There's an NIL something on Capitol Hill coming up. I think I saw Dellinger put something out yesterday. I think Shane Beamer's involved in it. There's some athletes as well. So yeah, I mean, like it seems like there are some things in motion to try to get some control over college athletics and the things going on. But to me, the NCAA can't be trusted with that power to control it, because we've seen over however long they've existed, they've done nothing but abuse that power and not take care of business. And now they're ruling against injunctions when a year ago they were just letting anybody. I mean, TJ Finley's played at how many schools?
Oh, God.
What, like 6 schools in 7 years? Nobody knows how old anybody is on a football field, basketball court, baseball. Like nobody knows how long you've been in college, because it could be 9 years like the tight end from Miami.
TJ Finley started college, LSU 2020, Auburn 2021 to 2022, Texas State 2023, Western Kentucky 2024, now Tulane 2025.
So LSU,
Man is getting a tour.
Auburn, Texas State, Western Kentucky, Tulane.
And he keeps getting starts.
So 5 and 6 years. It's unbelievable. But now you're ruling it against an injunction for a baseball player transferring from one school to the other. I don't know. But you really can't trust the NCAA to handle control and power and things like that. Luckily, the LSU really hasn't run into many of these situations when it comes to eligibility and things like that with different players. I know that the Jalen Cook situation in basketball last season was kind of a touch-and-go deal with the NCAA, but when it comes to things like that, LSU really hasn't had to deal with it very much, which is obviously a plus because it can get a little messy. Sabrion says they're going to take that to trial, 100%.
Oh, for Osuna?
Yes.
Yeah. It does kind of suck. I don't really care either way, but it does suck for him because now he can't play baseball.
Yeah, that sucks. Well, that's the part of the NCAA that I hate, is where it never feels like they have the student athlete's best interest in mind.
But there is a case to be made that he's taking advantage of the system, absolutely.
100%.
But this has never
You've
been.
let everyone else.
Right. At some point, if you don't have a ruling against it, but it is like this is antitrust law if you're denying somebody the ability to make a quote-unquote living.
Right.
And who's to say that college has to be whatever timeline that just you deem it as? Like you said, 4 years, I say 5. Like if you said one time that junior college doesn't count, then it doesn't count. That's the ruling that everybody's going to look at, and you did this to yourself. So, like, Osuna is this is interesting for him to not be able to play college baseball because he was obviously at North Carolina, stays in college instead of going to the draft, and tries to play one more year at Tennessee. And now he's doing nothing.
Right. Yeah. No. I mean it.
He had a COVID year at Walters State in 2020.
Okay. And then after that,
did not count against his eligibility. He used
Right.
his 4 years of eligibility with one at Walters State in 2021, 3 at North Carolina. So obviously it's the same attempt as Pavia with that 1 year at Walters State, being as it should not count against his eligibility, but they have ruled it as it does.
See, that's what's confusing.
Of course it is.
I mean, if you're gonna rule in a pretty well known situation, like the Pavia deal wasn't just some quiet situation that not many people heard or knew about. Like everybody knew this ruling came out that the JUCO years don't count against your eligibility, and now the NCAA is ruling against it with one of the top programs in college baseball. So I don't assume this will be the last time you hear about this situation between Tennessee and the NCAA, because it's going to get picked up. Like Sabrion said, it's going to go to trial. They're going to push back. They're going to fight it. They're going to do the whole deal. But luckily for LSU, all their transfers are on the baseball field, and they're balling out so far. And they take the field again tonight against North Dakota State at 6:30. A little bit of weather today to keep your eye out on. I've heard that it's actually going to be a little worse than I thought. We were talking about it yesterday. I don't know fully what the forecast is, but I've heard that the winds are going to get picked up. It's going to be rainy. Might be some hail. But that's from my roofing friends. They're on the lookout for that.
Well, we talked to Jay Johnson yesterday on Mic'd Up.
And what did he have to say?
Was a man that always has his finger on the pulse of the weather, and said they're not really a concern for where their game time is. Said weather won't be great, but they should be able to get the game in, as they have Let's Play 2. They play tonight and tomorrow, so they expect to get both in. But he was not concerned about getting the game in today, because it's going to be a little from 12 to 5, 45% chance of rain, but the wind is the issue. So you might see some balls fly out the yard. Depends on which way it's blowing.
Come on.
But yeah,
you'll know what the wind direction is just by which players Jay puts in the lineup.
That's true.
Tell you all you need to know. He'll give you the weather report. But yeah, so obviously there will be some nasty weather today. I know that some of the parades in New Orleans were getting moved around time-wise because of the weather. Some of them got bumped up early this morning, things like that. But yes, LSU baseball tonight. Like Lloyd said, Jay says that the time will be just fine. It'll be 6:30 p.m. tonight. No worries about the weather affecting the game tonight. Lloyd, who do you expect?
That's actually what I was just looking at.
On the bump.
I was looking through.
We talked about it a little bit yesterday.
We did.
But I have no idea, if I'm going to be completely honest with you.
I'm going to do a deep dive real quick. I'm 1-for-1 on this deal.
You are. You nailed it last time. That's why I'm pressuring you to go 2-0 here this week, because this is a tough situation for LSU baseball. Not, difficult and where I think they're not going to win or things like that, but it's where you just played Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And now you're turning around. You used almost every pitcher in the
the one that you didn't use. Obviously, there's going to be a conversation about maybe Gavin Guidry,
right? Depending on his
today
health,
or tomorrow, depending on what he looks like health-wise. But you didn't see Jacob Myers from the former Nichols State pitcher that was a starter there, but also he's the one that we talked about him yesterday a little bit. He had, I think, 105 strikeouts, but also had like 76 walks.
Right.
But he has not pitched in a minute. He has 2 appearances, so that could be a possible starter. You saw Schmidt pitch just a little bit, but it was electric when he came in. So I wouldn't expect him to get the start. I wouldn't expect Connor Ware to get the start or Zach Cowan. So if I had to put my gun to my head, I would say probably Jacob Myers to get the start today and see where the ball goes.
All right.
Because he is somebody that you do have to monitor with a kind of a tight leash.
Right. I mean, just those numbers themselves. I mean, 105 strikeouts, obviously impressive. 76 walks.
Not great. And so you obviously want to see LSU get off to it's a lot of baseball they've been playing lately. So,
right.
I wouldn't be surprised, I guess. Would you expect them to go 5-0 again?
I mean, the level of competition isn't anything like last week. I think last week, obviously, the competition level was much higher when you're talking about Nichols, who's a relatively good program, and then you've got Dallas Baptist, obviously ranked. Then you go Power 4 with Kansas State. Nebraska's a good program. Sam Houston State. Those are 5 good programs that you beat. I think that
and you were taxed to beat them,
right?
Like none of those were easy. Like even Sam Houston, while you got out to a huge lead,
they came right back in.
Right, so you won 12-8.
Yep,
and then you got down 5-0 against Nebraska, and then you had Kansas State where you went to extras. So that's why I think I wouldn't be surprised to see them drop one, just because the amount of, like you said, like the high level of competition of what it took out of you to be able to win those 5, and now you have. It's not that same level of like interest. Like there's going to be a drop off, a considerable drop off. Bad weather, like the fans aren't going to be there today because it's Mardi Gras. Like I wouldn't expect it to be a packed Alec box. Yeah, weather's bad. You don't like you're probably on the back end of being like a little taxed, like just as like a baseball team.
Yes,
and so you feel good. You're coming off of winning the Frisco tournament. Now it's like we have to turn around and play North Dakota State on Tuesday.
Yeah,
like they're probably feeling the same way that you are if you want to watch the game. Like I'll turn it on.
Right,
well, they have to turn it on.
Yeah.
And so it'll be interesting to see if it's not Tuesday or Wednesday or Friday or Saturday or Sunday. I think once they get through this stretch, you'll see
because this is a lot.
You'll see the plane land.
Even when you go back to the week before, this is a lot of baseball. This is a lot of baseball games in a row
because of the Nichols game.
The Nichols game threw you off because I think you played Friday against Omaha, 2 games Saturday. Thank God you get that Sunday off, because it could have been Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You know what I mean? Like just an all out. So instead, you go Friday, 2 on Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, back to it Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. So I mean that is quite the stretch of baseball, and LSU right now riding a 6-game win streak because they won the last game against Omaha.
Mm-hmm.
Into a game against North Dakota State tonight, tomorrow night, and then North Alabama this weekend. Obviously, like Lloyd said, the level of competition is not going to be as high, so they're not going to be quite as dialed in, I would assume, just human nature. So don't be surprised if they drop one, but I don't really expect them to, just because I think they're a very good baseball team compared.
Usually wins out,
right? And I think they'll take care of business. And I trust Jay Johnson to have the fellas ready. And I think this team is one that I don't know if we're really going to have to worry about them not being locked in or ready for a game, because I don't think we've seen that yet, really, where they haven't been ready. But it's going to be tough once you get out there to push through. Whether you're tired, you're hurting, different things like that. I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that I do like the Myers pick. I think I would love to hear what Gavin's injury situation is.
Middle body.
Because, right, I know that, but if he's good to go. I know they said he expects him back this week. But if he's good to go for tonight or tomorrow, I would assume he probably gets a nod.
Now even with the news of that, it's an injury.
Right.
I would be interested to see if they still have the mindset of using him as a starter. Like if they want to see kind of ease him in and not put because if he's coming off injury,
right,
starts the game and it doesn't he can't go. Now you're taxing your bullpen in a way that if he can only go an inning, if he can only go 15 pitches, then it becomes something much different than him coming into a game in the 5th where
so instead waiting for him this weekend.
Right, I think you'd like to see him throw at some point.
Right,
but I don't know if I would start him just because based off of there's another way to ease him into the game as opposed to going as a starter, just so you don't have to use 2 guys immediately. If you put him in. You can get 2 guys going in the bullpen. He comes in, it's I don't feel right or it doesn't look good. You can have another guy ready to go in. But if he starts, you kind of have to get the bullpen going and get moving maybe in the 1st, which is not what you want to do against North Dakota State or anybody that you play. But for the pitching-wise, Schmidt did only throw 15 pitches, 9 strikes, but those were high-leverage pitches, which is why I'd be interested. I would be surprised to see him start midweek just because of what he just did. Right. I know it's only 15, but it's almost like you want to give him a bit of a reset, and you're getting to the spot where you might start seeing him more on the weekend than you do in the midweek. Like he's become like he's that talented to where you don't really want to waste him on a midweek game, and none of these like midweeks matter. Sure.
And that's become the kind of the discussion on Ware as well. Mm-hmm. And same with Callan, where it's like.
Yeah, Callan threw 30 pitches, 21 strikes. Like, those guys are all going to, like, at some point, you do have to play them in the midweek. You have to play somebody.
Right.
And maybe it's, like, Jacob Myers that becomes that guy. But, yeah, what you see from Callan, who absolutely has, what is Jay Johnson, what's the word he likes to use, pitchability?
Uh-huh.
Callan's got that in spades. Like, he reminds me a ton of Luke Holman. I don't think he ticks it up as fast, or he doesn't have the same velo, but his ability to pitch, like
location,
he's got movement on every pitch. He can pitch to you in a way that makes him dangerous without having overpowering stuff. So that's somebody that obviously has pitched a ton in college baseball, and to see him come in those situations where it's high leverage and like times you need an out, he's a great guy to be able to go to out the pen. Obviously, William Schmidt, the talent's undeniable.
Oh my gosh!
And it's been electric every time he's come in. Like they were playing Colin Baton Rouge. It was insane just to be in Frisco and have like that type of moment, and for him to be on the bump for that, it's like he already feels validated about going to college.
Yes,
like this is why I came here.
Yeah, I made the right choice.
Yeah, that was an elite moment for him, and like you said, Guidry, I don't know what their plan is with him going forward. We should have asked Jay, but I feel like he was probably tired of asking or getting asked questions about Gavin Guidry, and we wanted to more focus on winning a championship, if you want to count Frisco as that, which it was. You got a belt.
Yes.
And you got...
I love a belt.
You got belt to ass. And then you had Chief, got wet. He said he doesn't. He goes, that's not really my style. I didn't want to get... I was like, I figured not.
Right.
But all in all, a good conversation with the head man.
Good. That's good. No,
and I see Glimmer. I'll get him on here at some point.
One day.
Yeah, I don't want to wear the man out. I think once a week with me is enough. I don't think he wants to see me twice a week.
We'll try 5 times a week.
Yeah.
But no, I mean it's
think he'd hire me?
Probably. It's a big week for LSU. This is going to be interesting to see how they use this bullpen that we've obviously talked so much about. You're really going to see it get stretched out once again. When you're talking about 5 games in 6 days, as opposed coming off of a weekend where you were in Frisco playing top tier opponents,
Yeah, you had
4 games
like
in
not
5
even in the
days.
tournament. Like Dallas Baptist wasn't a part of that tournament. You just played it to play it.
Right. That's
so you have
It's
North
a
Dakota
big
State
stretch.
Tuesday, Wednesday, and then North Alabama Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then you kind of get back to your regularly scheduled program.
Yep.
If you have Xavier on Tuesday, and then you get into SEC play with Missouri coming to town on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I think you have like 10 straight home games.
Yes.
In the box.
It's awesome. I mean, that's what LSU baseball is about. Friday, Saturday, Sunday in the box.
And you know who's throwing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You do know that.
Yeah, that's kind of set in stone at
that
this
feels
point.
good. Even with what Ianson did on Saturday. Like
as rocky as it gets.
There's been some conversation about maybe flipping him and Shores, and Jay did address that, I think, last week. He said if we're going to do it, this is the time to do it because they both pitched on Saturday.
Right.
And so he's like, they have the same amount of rest. If we were interested in, like, breaking these, like, from Kate Anderson to maybe Chase Shores and then Anthony Ianson on Sunday, not the case. I think that you'll ride this thing out. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like there's a lot of conjecture around Ianson. It's, like, not very good. Like, I feel like the way people talk about him, like, I've heard it from, like, they speak as if he's not as dominant as the other two, when I feel like it looks a little different. I understand he gave up 5 runs.
Yeah, I mean,
but even before that, there was like...
They're hitting him more than they're hitting off the other 2 guys. Now, I don't think he's had as many walks as Shores has, and
I just feel as confident as him as I do
100%.
Anybody.
And to me, the reason I wouldn't move around is I love Shores on Sunday.
Yeah, that's stealing.
Why would you change that in any way? Where you're going to put Shores, who could have been your Friday night guy, up against everybody else's Sunday? Like, I'll do that every single time. And I haven't seen anything from Ianson that makes me think he's not deserving of a weekend starting spot. Like, yeah, it was rocky. But, I mean, if you go back and watch that 5th and 6th inning where he just completely buckles down, locks in, and was electric.
Yeah.
To keep LSU, give LSU an opportunity.
When you strike out 5 of 6, I know he struck out the side in the last inning. But yeah, he's given up 14 hits, 6 earned, 3 walks, and 20 strikeouts. Like he has the least amount of walks as from your starters.
Yes.
And second amount of strike. Kate Anderson has 26 strikeouts. Anthony Ianson has 20. Chase Schwartz has 18.
Yep.
Like batting average against is 222. He has the 5 wild pitches, which I feel like that's probably something. But I think he's going with Aaron Beatty every time.
Yeah, I think.
And he's got that big time breaking ball, which is why he has more wild pitches because he's trying to bury that thing in the dirt.
Right.
And it'll sneak past you every now and then, but you want him to be able to throw it like that because that's what makes it an effective pitch. So I got no problem with him. A 3.1 ERA. If you can't score more than 3 runs in a game, you don't deserve to be playing or win. And he's throwing 17 innings with 14 hits. Like, that's fine.
What's the ERA on the other two? He's what you said.
Chase Shores is at a 3, and Kate Anderson is a 2.3 clip.
So I mean, what are we talking about?
Yeah, we're fine.
And so they're all in the same arena, numbers wise, and so I guess those 5 wild pitches stand out, but there's more context to that story. And in my opinion, I think you go with these 3 100%. These are the guys. Hunter Fournette says Ianson feels like Holman last year, maybe rocky in the beginning, but he's going to get his innings. I would say almost kind of like a Gage jump, because to me, jump wasn't anything too impressive to start the year, but as the season progressed, he turned into your Friday night guy.
Yeah, became your best pitcher.
And I think Ianson, I'm not saying that he's going to turn out to be the best out of the 3 or out of the whole team, but I mean, this is an adjustment. Where did he play baseball last year? What was the school?
He came from, I'm actually looking him up right now, because they were asking, he's a junior.
Right.
Because I saw somebody asking in the chat. He was at UC San Diego, and then he played on Team USA for the college Team USA with Daniel Dickinson, actually, where they had the conversation of,
where are they going?
You getting in the portal? I'm not getting in the portal. No, you talk to LSU? I'll talk to LSU.
Awesome.
They actually became pretty good friends, and now both end up
in Baton Rouge.
The purple and gold.
Yeah,
both California Cats. Well, I guess Dickinson from Washington State.
Right. There's some sort of adjustment, coming from UC San Diego to play at LSU. Like, not even when I'm talking about level of competition. I'm talking about eyeballs. Like, just talking about fans in the crowd. I mean, how many times do you think Ianson has pitched in front of 11,000 people on a Saturday in a neutral site game?
Never.
And so I mean, they
were surprised at the people that were showing up for the inner squad.
Oh, the inner squad.
Where they're like, 500 people are here.
Right.
It's like, we're practicing. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, buddy, you have no idea.
Yeah, you have no clue. He's like, well, this is awesome.
Right. So I mean, like, there is an adjustment to be made. And I think Ianson's making the adjustment. But I'm so impressed with what I saw against Nebraska, where he obviously was getting hit. He had a couple of wild pitches. And then he locked in, and he's a major reason in why you were able to win that game. As much as the bats were swinging, the defense played excellent. If he doesn't get through the 5th and 6th clean like that, it doesn't give your offense the opportunity to make the run they make. And how demoralizing is it when the opposing coach was sitting in that press conference? He was like, I mean, when we're starting the game, we thought we were going to be able to get him out of there early. And then he goes 6.
Yes.
He goes 6 innings. And he was like, and he played better in the 5th and 6th than he did in the 1st and 2nd. And like, that's demoralizing as an opposing coach to think that you're about to get this pitcher out of the game, the starting pitcher out of the game, get to the bullpen, because that's your goal as a lineup, is you're trying to get to the bullpen. And you're getting hits off this guy. You think you're going to get him out of the game.
5.
And then he still goes through 6 innings.
And settles in. And that's what Jay talked about it yesterday with this, like, that exact scenario when he went and talked to him. He was like, but we need you to go here.
Right.
Like, because we're already kind of taxed in what we're doing in terms of the bullpen, who we have next. Like, when I went and talked to him, he was like, I'm good. Like, don't worry about it. Like, I want to keep pitching.
Gamer.
Like, don't take me. Yeah, and he's like, okay. Well, that's what I wanted to hear. And then he obviously buckles down, able to get you through 6. And LSU, that game still, it's crazy to me because I guess it was coming off of the Kansas State win.
Right.
Where you get down 5 immediately, and you're just like, I know that LSU's going to put up runs. Like, that's a pretty good testament of a baseball team whenever you can get down 5 and your fan base isn't really all that concerned, because it's a lot of time, a lot of baseball left, and LSU proved that to be true as they that lineup is relentless. You saw Nebraska's head coach talk about it. It's like they come in waves. They kept turning it over, and it felt like there was no break. And that's what you want from an LSU baseball team that isn't going to have the power numbers as the rest of the SEC. As you see, I think, Tennessee has 27 homers, 28 homers.
LSU has 9.
LSU at the bottom of the barrel with Kentucky with 9, but still able to score runs.
Yeah, I mean, and even when they are hitting the home runs, here and there, it's in, relatively big moments where Dickinson hits the 3-run home run against, who was it? Not Nebraska. Kansas State. He hits the 3-1 to go up in that game. So I mean, I'm not concerned about the power numbers, but it is a lot of pressure on the opposing pitcher and the opposing defense, where even the plays that are getting made at the plate are getting picked off, or all these different things. These other teams are human too. At some point, they're going to screw it up. It's been impressive how many times that the opposing defense has made the play, whether they're picking off Curiel at first or they're making the relay home and tagging whoever it is out at home. At some point, the pressure in those big pressure moments, it might get a little shaky, and LSU's prepared to keep applying pressure the way they have.
Yeah, they've already been in high leverage situations.
Right.
They've already played. That's why you play the schedule that you're playing, is to kind of get you ready for big time games. You've already seen people and players on your squad in these moments step up. You know what you have in Pearson. I don't know. He's that's insane that he continues to do this.
And the crazy thing would be is if he kind of breaks the mold of just being a clutch kind of gadget player and becomes an MVP. It becomes an every game have to hit him.
Either way, you feel there's no. I don't think there's any hesitancy when you see him in the lineup. You're not don't want Pearson in there. And he's one of those guys that always stays ready. And whether it be coming in the 5th or in the start, but if you haven't really seen that consistency from him, but what you have seen him consistently do is come up in the clutch and perform. So he hasn't been a guy that's hit 320 for you and played in 56 games. He's played in 45 games and hit 220, but then when it's a regional, he goes 6 for 8.
Right.
That's just what he is. And so I'm never concerned about him, but to see him play the way he did and be able to put up 6 hits and 8 at bats and named the MVP of the Frisco tournament, you're okay, he's definitely going to start, because that outfield there's a legitimate question about 100%. Who's going to play, and Pearson has put himself in that conversation of a starter, where it was whether it be Jake Brown, who feels like he goes 2 for 2 and gets yanked.
Right.
You're trying to find some sort of balance. You have Ashton Larson, who's been a DH, he's been a right fielder, and then you have Ethan Fry come in, he's been a DH, a right fielder, hits another bomb. He's got 2, and he's got the absolute, probably the most juice out of those 3 of anybody if you're trying to find. But now that you have Dickinson batting behind Jared Jones, you're not really looking for more pop in the lineup for somebody to protect Bear Jones, because Aaron Beatty has been able to take over the 1 slot, and that's changed the dynamic of your lineup. It was supposed to be Dickinson batting 1 hole.
Right.
That's what you
saw. We were talking Dickinson and Milam as,
and then you have Stanfield bat 1, and now with Curiel taking over the 1 leadoff spot, it's changed your entire lineup and how you're able to kind of finagle this thing to have Dickinson behind Jones and then Stanfield at the 9 hole, and your really only spot that is a cause for concern in your lineup is 8 hole.
Yep. Because you haven't figured out who your third baseman is yet.
Yeah, Tanner Reeves is getting opportunities because he can swing it.
Right.
Defense is suspect, and then you also still have Braswell, who hit 300 last year.
Right. And picked it up in conference play.
Right.
Where when you watch that SEC tournament, Braswell is a key.
Couldn't wait for him to come up.
100%. You needed Braswell at the plate every single time, and he made the play. So I'm excited to watch him tonight. You'll know what the wind looks like by which players Jay puts in the lineup. If he goes sluggers in the lineup, that means that wind's blowing out, and expect to see that number pick up from 9 to I don't even know what. So big game tonight. Obviously, there's some other news LSU sports-wise when we're talking about LSU football. We were surprised last week by the news where Bo Davis takes the Saints job to become their defensive line coach and is leaving Louisiana State University. And we talked with Wilson Alexander about it on Friday. We didn't really touch on, what names were being offered, who's going to get the job, things like that. There's been some news that's come out recently about that. Obviously, Gerald Chapman's name was one that came up relatively early because of his history with LSU. He was the interim D-line coach at one point, and now he is at Florida. He was reached out. He was one of LSU's top targets earlier in the search. He was one of the, Bruce Feldman says. After a lot of consideration, Gerald Chapman, who is a top target for the LSU D-line coaching vacancy, has opted to remain at Florida. In his first season at UF, the Gators made big jumps in sacks, tackles for loss, and turnovers. LSU is looking to hire its 8th D-line coach since 2020. So, Chapman is staying in Gainesville with the Gators instead of joining Brian Kelly's staff once again. He was the interim D-line coach. What year was that? 2023. And then he had an opportunity at Tulane come up, so he takes that job. And then he was hired at Florida before last season. So he's going to stay there. The next name that popped up was Randall Joyner at Ole Miss. And so the latest reporting from Billy Embody of On3 is that Ole Miss defensive line coach Randall Joyner is not coming to LSU either. Instead, looking to sign to stay with Ole Miss. This was Billy's post. I'm told by a trusted source that Randall Joyner to LSU is not happening and to expect an extension to be finalized soon. LSU's process will continue on, but Ole Miss is nearing an official agreement with arguably the country's top DL coach. So, Joyner's been at Ole Miss for 4 years and helped the Rebels defense maintain a strong front in recent seasons, as Ole Miss has done a great job on that D-line. But that's two names that have come up and two guys that have opted to stay whatever university they're at rather than come to LSU. I'm not sure the exact situation, but I obviously think the timing plays a part in it. Whether when you're talking about spring football starting, LSU spring football starts on Saturday, so I would assume everyone else's is probably around the same schedule. It's a tough timeline to get a guy away from his team that he just signed, high school recruits and a transfer portal class. Getting ready for spring football, ahead of the spring portal window, all these things. It's going to be a tough moment to pull somebody away from another school.
Yeah, because you're almost like pot committed to whatever university you're at.
Right.
Like it's not part of the hiring cycle right now where people are actively looking for jobs or considering other jobs. And for LSU, what's the name that's been thrown out the most? You're going back to the Missouri pot.
Right.
And you've taken Kevin Peoples from Missouri, obviously Blake Baker from Missouri. You have Jake Olson. Also, wasn't he with Missouri? Wasn't he on that staff?
Yep,
as the
he was with
coach?
Blake Baker.
Yeah, so that would be another hire from you. You basically just took Eli Drinkwitz's entire defensive staff, if that's the case. That's like the next name on the list because you see LSU, and I feel like it was almost a foregone conclusion that Gerald Chapman was going to get a call,
right?
And it was up to him whether he accepted it or not. And now there's conjecture of if LSU was interested in paying the buyout for Gerald Chapman, which was above around $300,000 to be able to buy out Gerald Chapman,
right?
And
I mean,
pay him as
with Bo Davis's contract, you still have $1 million left over.
Yeah, after
paying the buyout.
I would be hard pressed to think that's the reason why you were the one that said you don't want Gerald Chapman. I think that you reached out, and I don't think he was interested in coming to LSU. And so,
right, and I'm not, and I don't know if that's an LSU problem.
No, if what would be an LSU problem is you can't afford $300,000 for a buyout.
I was about to say
that's a problem.
If you can't afford $300 to buy out a coach, defensive line coach is the last of your worries, because right now you are in a money age in college football, and if you don't have $300K to buy out a coach, you need $300K for a backup safety.
Yeah.
I mean, out of the portal. I mean, it's not – $300K is not, what it was back in the day. $300K is nothing
and
at this
you
point.
could point to revenue sharing and saying that,
And there's credence to it, but $300K is still $300K.
And this is LSU.
Right.
I don't think that's the reason why you weren't able to – if you couldn't scrounge up $300K, like you said, that LSU is in a much worse spot than any of us believed, if that is the case, because you just had, $1 million from your own head coach.
Right. match. $1 million match.
Yeah, that was matched 2 times over, so you have at least $3 million.
Yeah, just chilling.
And that's people are going to make the, like you said, the revenue sharing argument because now you pay players from the same pot that you're paying coaches, but you just had a coach leave that was the highest paid defensive line coach in the country. You have that money available.
Now, do you think that some of that money is going to have to be spent on retention of the guys in what was Bo Davis's room?
I mean, the only one you saw any kind of smoke from was Ahmad Bro, right? Where it felt.
But see, the guys like him, I think I'm not worried about because of Kevin Peoples. Like, Peoples, because Bro was brought in as an edge rusher,
right,
and made the shift over, and so I'm assuming Peoples has a strong relationship.
Yeah, but I think he was coached very much coached up by Bo Davis, and it clearly impacted him to a point of like wanting to say something on the internet.
Yeah.
But
Sidier Mitchell, the transfer from
absolutely.
Texas.
But I don't know how much of an impact he was going to make.
Right.
It felt like he was a project player that you got. Was he a sophomore?
Yep.
Like he was going to have time to like under Bo Davis that he just recruited him
Develop.
to Texas. He pulls him out of Texas, pulls him to LSU. So I don't know what he's probably the one that's the biggest loser in all of this because it feels like he followed Bo Davis to LSU. Now he's gone, and I guess he has to wait a year to get drafted to the Saints. 2 years. That's what he wants to keep doing.
Right. And then you got guys like, Brandon Brown, Zion Wade, like these freshmen that he brought in that were obviously recruited by Bo Davis. There was a couple of guys that were Texas commits or heavily leaning Texas or from Texas and go to LSU, which you obviously assume are BoDavis.com. So Al Davis is the name right now, the defensive line coach for Missouri, which to me show that's one of the things me and Lou were talking about before the show is who is leading the charge in making this hire is part of the discussion. Are you going to get a Brian Kelly guy? Are you allowing Blake Baker to make his pick? Is the administration stepping in and making their selection? Because what we're saying is Bo Davis was very much a kind of LSU contingency selection. Like, it felt like that was the pick, the guy you had to go get. He was obviously the great white buffalo of LSU football, where you've wanted to go get him year after year after year. This is a golden opportunity to do it, and they go make it happen. Now that job is open, who is the guy that's most importantly making that selection? Is it Brian Kelly making the pick and giving Blake Baker a defensive line coach? That's not what I want the situation to be. And that's not even a diss to Brian Kelly. It's just I don't want my head coach, I don't want the head coach coming in and saying, this is your guy. This is the D-line coach you're going to use. Let your defensive coordinator go make the hire of who he wants to bring in. And I think Al Davis is definitely going to be one of the highest names on Blake Baker's list just because of when he was at Missouri, his D-line coaches were Al Davis and Kevin Peoples.
Mm-hmm. They've worked together before. And that's, you'll see who makes, or I guess who's leading the charge for this hire when you have Al Davis on one side, and it feels like that would very much be like Blake Baker is making the push for, I worked with him, I trust him, good coach. That's who you would lean on to be able to make give you a pitch as to why you should hire him. And if it's somebody from Brian Kelly's tree, then it was Brian Kelly that decided to make the hire because Blake Baker's going to push for his guys. I work with him every day. It's the defensive side of the football. This is where, my domain. Trust me on this one. And if it's Brian Kelly reaching out to somebody in his 40 years that he's coached college football, and you see that part of the staff where it's either a former Notre Dame coach or anything like that, then you see him making the move because, like you said, the Bo Davis thing, that's Scott Woodward putting himself very much in the middle of the conversation of this is what we do at LSU. Let me help you.
It was almost the fan base made the hire.
Yeah, and it was very much well received once the idea got floated out. It almost became you have to do it. And obviously had to make him the highest paid defensive line coach in the country to get him to leave Texas. But that was a home run hire by all accounts. Whether it be Woodward, Kelly, Baker, didn't matter. It was everybody's on board with this. Now this one feels very much like you have an opportunity to at least have some conjecture because it felt like Chapman was maybe your guy.
Right.
And now you've swung and missed and you've seen other names pop up that they haven't come to LSU. And so now you're kind of reaching at this point, and this would be the easiest one to explain with Blake Baker working with him previously.
Right. What do you think the timeline is going to be? Do you think this happens after spring football, or do you try to get this done?
I'll try to get it done today.
This week.
Yeah, this
ahead
week.
Of spring football. And
yes,
kind
absolutely.
Of
before the weekend. Yeah.
Okay. I agree. I mean, obviously, spring football starts Saturday, March 8th. So, I mean, if you can get that deal done, and obviously, Peoples will still, in my opinion, head up, kind of in this transitional period for the first practice or two. But you want to get this guy in here and get him to work.
Well, and you have
make the introductions to the roster, the whole deal.
And it's an easier transition for somebody that hasn't worked with Kevin Peoples before, where it's like you just like this is what I do.
Yes.
Like I'm on the edge. It's like I coach the whole D line. It's like no. So you don't have to have that conversation with Al Davis. He's like, I understand how he works. He understands how I work. Like I'll coach the interior of the defensive line. He can coach the edge guys. We're all good here. We've done this before. Like I think that's also what makes it easier, as opposed to having a more senior coach that's like, I coach every position.
Right.
Like I don't really understand what Kevin Peoples doing talking to my edge guys. Like you don't want that to become.
Get my guys back in my room.
Yeah, you don't want that to become a situation, because Kevin Peoples is probably somebody that LSU fans didn't know whenever he was hired, but now very much a fan favorite. And if you see a drop in production from the edge, like that defensive line coach probably will get more blame than Kevin Peoples.
100%. Just a little bit on Al Davis.
Marcus Spears.
Right. He joined the Missouri football staff in 2021 as a defensive analyst and moved into his current role coaching the D-line October 3rd, 2021. And starting in 2022, he coached the interior defensive linemen. So obviously 2022 and 2023 were Blake Baker, Kevin Peoples, Al Davis. That was kind of the organization. He came to Missouri after coaching defensive tackles at Illinois in 2020. His season at Illinois came following 3 years at Hutchinson Community College, where he had been promoted to associate head coach and co-defensive coordinator. He was a defensive grad assistant coach at Arkansas for the 2014 through 16 seasons. After lettering for the Razorbacks from 09 to 12, he served as a captain in 2012. So that's a little bit about Al Davis, who is the name to be watching when it comes to LSU's defensive line coach position. And like Lloyd said, I think a lot of it is because of the continuity, the relationship with Blake Baker and Kevin Peoples, and just it's not going to cause issues, like Lloyd said, where if you bring in a guy that's old-fashioned, which in my opinion, if Brian Kelly was bringing in one of his guys, that's probably what it would be, is a more of an old-fashioned type of coach. It could cause some issues, some discourse about where are the edge guys, why are they in a separate room, what's this whole setup, I don't like this. That's not how it works. Sabrion says, I guess Kyle Williams won't be looked at. I'm not saying he won't be looked at, but I think that you obviously have other guys on your list before you go get a guy like Kyle Williams, where, not that I think Kyle Williams would be the last resort, but, I mean, you go hire somebody from another university before you go get a guy. As much as he means to to LSU, he was coaching Ruston's defense last season, Ruston High School. And
if his name wasn't Kyle Williams and they hired a
high school defensive coordinator
that quit.
That was that not Steeples? Was Steeples not a high school DC before, or he's a high school head coach?
High school head coach.
Before he becomes LSU's cornerbacks coach? And, like, if it wasn't for his name being Kyle Williams,
everybody would hate it.
He would not be in this conversation. And the funny thing is, I'm not even opposed to making the hire. But I feel like there's some other, you got to kick the can in some other, situations, other places before you make that move. DeMarcus Spears' name is funny. That is funny that I haven't even heard. That's the first time I've heard his name.
Yeah, I think that's the only time it's been mentioned.
That's fun. No, I'm not saying make the move, but it's just funny that I didn't think of it because
he's not a coach.
Right. He'd probably be a great one though. But so yeah, we'll see what happens, but obviously keep your eyes peeled and ears open when it comes to Al Davis as the next defensive line coach at LSU, just because it makes sense. Blake Baker's guy. In my opinion, you let Blake Baker go make this hire, especially in the position, the timing where it's at now, where you need somebody that can come in, smooth transition. You don't have to worry about making introductions with the DC and with the other defensive line coach and all these other pieces. It'll be smooth. He'll come in. He'll be able to make his introduction to the roster. These guys obviously are going to trust Blake Baker in his opinion. And if Blake Baker tells them, this is my guy, he coached with me at Missouri, I trust him, you should trust him, I think the guys are going to trust him. So we'll see what name comes up and when it happens. I'm hoping it's much sooner rather than later. So don't forget, we're brought to you every day by Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works. This isn't a crappy segment, but Barker Brothers, no website, no social media. Just call the number, 225-776-2431. Mention the show for 15% off, 225-776-2431. We're going to take a quick break here to set up hour number 2 here on this Mardi Gras Tuesday. Happy Mardi Gras.
Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
Well, the Oscar Andrews Sports Medicine Institute collaborative effort was an idea from Dr. Andrews and myself to bring together two great names, the Andrews name and the Ochsner name, to elevate the quality of care for athletes in the state of Louisiana, where he's from.
I always thought I would come back to Louisiana and practice orthopedics with my subspecialty being sports medicine. This was an opportunity through Ochsner's to come back and work the entire state to help develop and take sports medicine to a new level.
As an orthopedic surgeon, what this means in the future in terms of, access for our community to the type of care that Dr. Andrews pioneered, words can't describe how valuable that is.
Ochsner has a great opportunity here to really grow, and Dr. Burnham, of course, is the mainstay of making that happen. If you want to have first-class sports medicine care, check in with Dr. Burnham and his group, and you'll be more than impressed and pleased.
4EA Insurance Agency, established in 1946, helping you with your home, auto, commercial, life and health insurance needs. Around in Baton Rouge at 4275 Government Street and online at 4EAagency.com. Whatever insurance you're in the market for, home, auto, commercial, contractors, life and health, get in touch with 4EA Insurance Agency, 4EAagency.com, or give them a call at 225-383-0682. 4EA Agency.
Get Gordon. And get it done. Yeah, everybody know Gordon in a 225. He done link with Big Foe. He got buku ties, Ferrari sliding, flying in a new coupe ride. And every time I ride by, I see a brand new sign. I'm with Gordon. I know that he gon' get it done. Whether it's a big truck crash or a hit and run, recovery funds, he fighting to get a ton. Mike Epps, man, we all about the Benjamin. Handling injuries, man, are you kidding me? Gordon McKernan, that's champion energy. Yeah, family man with a family plan. Get Gordon, he gon' fix it like a handyman. Gordon. And get it done.
Welcome to Trifecta.
Trifecta Sports Therapy in Baton Rouge. Recover, repair, restore. At Trifecta, they believe in total body wellness. Trifecta gets the body back to its full potential. Whether you're a youth or pro athlete, a pre or postnatal mom, or if you lead an active lifestyle or a senior citizen, Trifecta has the class, the sports massage, the sports therapist, the stretch therapist, or the equipment like infrared sauna, cold plunges, and golf simulators to find your best. Find Trifecta online at trifectasportstherapy.com or check out the beautiful facility today, 8221 Goodwood. Trifecta Sports Therapy.
Hey, Tiger fans, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, make sure to visit us, Tom and Wright Granning, at Go Mart on the Go Deli.
Go Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need on your trip.
Located at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on your left.
Also, stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff.
Where everyone is family.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
I'ma do what's best with me, you can keep all your lectures. Spend the summer stacking bread, might be gone to November. Pulling up like Trey Young just to freeze up December. I got niggas on the blood like traditional sinners. OGs love me, so I hang with traditional winners. I took a break for a minute, I had to go charge up. Had to focus on my business, I'm coming back smarter. Heat up DJ, tell him go like I'm dropping the Carter. Coming back like KD, it's time to go harder. Bounce back, can't let you fold up. Keep pushing, can't let you slow up. Bounce back, can't let you fold up. Keep pushing, can't let you slow up. Bounce back, can't let you fold up. Keep pushing, can't let you slow up. Bounce back, can't let you fold up. Keep pushing, can't let you slow up. They say that life's a marathon, man, shout out to Nip. They start to think you falling off and they starting to flip. Circumstances start to change and they jump in the ship. Only ones that really matter, who's tied to your hip. They tried to push you to the side cause they thought you would quit. May bend but never break, your cloth is legit. When you return in rare form, they all gonna be sick. You ever seen a living legend, just know that I'm it. Slow grind like IT, just know that I'm it. Now I'm back up in my bag, I'm giving them fits. Bounce the back like John Morant, you know that I'm lit. Making plays like Jack Bash, I'm never gonna sit. Had to be patient, so I waited for the situation. Now that I'm focused, I'ma take it with no hesitation. The hard times that I hated gave me inspiration. Look in the eyes from my kids gave me motivation. Bounce back, can't let you fold up. Keep pushing, can't
All
let
right,
you slow up.
welcome back.
Bounce back,
Welcome in
can't
here.
let you fold
Mardi
up.
Gras
Keep
Tuesday.
pushing, can't let
Make sure
you
for all
slow up.
who are celebrating. Isn't it such a... It really is a cool day when you sit and think about it. One, I think the Super Bowl and the way that success went for New Orleans has led this new charge into Mardi Gras where I've seen so many like celebrities out in New Orleans and Mardi Gras posting stuff on Twitter and Instagram.
You know who you
and
haven't
TikToks
seen
and
out
everything.
on Mardi Gras?
Who's that?
Derek fucking Carr. Like, just
Nowhere.
has no...
Seen the entire Saints roster.
Yeah.
No Derek
No
Carr.
interest in being a part of New Orleans, ingratiating himself to the community or any of that.
One of the easiest cities to get to love you because all it takes is
you just
doing
try
the things that make the city special.
Like, you should want to.
And I didn't see him out during Super Bowl weekend. He's not out during Mardi Gras. I mean, Jameis Winston controlled Super Bowl weekend, and Mardi Gras, I saw him catch a football from Shaq on a float. And that's why he's the most loved quarterback in New Orleans right now, outside of Drew Brees.
He hasn't left. He did the Super Bowl conversation and, like, obviously was all over social media for that, working with, like, it felt like he was working a correspondent with Fox. And then he pops back up in New Orleans again. And
look at this. I mean, like, how, I mean,
he might
take notes, Derek.
He might just get signed.
I would 100%, I'll chip in on the contract. Get Jameis back in New Orleans.
He's the best.
He's the best.
I'm going to catch two.
Oh. He'll even play receiver.
He'll probably throw it to the other team. But yeah, I mean, it's not hard.
It's not difficult at all.
And he is just, the only time you've seen Derek Carr is he was being made fun of on a float.
Those are the best. When they're just dissing.
Yeah, I mean, that's what that whole parade is.
100%. It is the absolute best. But speaking of people who are missing, I don't know if y'all saw this, but March Madness approaching, women's basketball has, I guess it's kind of like a docu-series coming out. The NCAA March Madness on Twitter posted it, at March Madness WBB. This sophomore class is unlike anything women's basketball has ever seen. Follow along as Juju Watkins, Audie Crooks, Madison Booker, and Hannah Hidalgo lead the charge for the next transformative class of Hoopers, Next Generation, premiering March 5th, which is tomorrow. So obviously this appears to be a little docu-series type thing on this sophomore class in women's college basketball. So they've made a selection of 4 different sophomores: Juju Watkins, Audie Crooks, Madison Booker, Hannah Hidalgo, and there's one name to me that is missing from this list. And I understand why these 4 were selected, because Juju obviously is infamous, and she's one of the best in the sport. Hidalgo is the star of Notre Dame, who's one of the best teams in the sport. Audie Crooks is dominant, and Lloyd talked about it while we were on break. Cooked last night. And what's the other one? Madison Booker.
8
is a hooper. And my question is, where is Michaela Williams? Why in the world would you leave off Michaela Williams off of this list? Because in my opinion, and this could be a homer take, I'm taking her over anyone on that list. I'll have a conversation about Juju Watkins. Outside of that, I'm taking Michaela Williams. To me, the only reason she's left off of this list and off of this docuseries is because she wears the purple and gold, and she's coached by Kim Mulkey. And to me, how stupid of a decision. Because as much as you want to dislike Kim, if you want to dislike LSU, they are, one of the 3 biggest brands in the sport?
Well, and you
let them hate watch. I would say...
it's not like it's a stretch to put her in this class.
No.
She could potentially be the best player in the sport.
Right. Coaches are comparing her to Maya Moore when it comes to getting her own shot.
But the comment section, these tweets are unbelievable, because I thought maybe this would just be an LSU thing, but it's it's more of everybody in the country. No, Michaela Williams is criminal. Admin, fire yourself. Best class in years, hands down. This ain't all of them.
Right.
Meanwhile, Michaela Williams is better than all of them.
Come on.
I can't wait for Fool Wiley to start next year so you can put respect on her name. Also, surprised to not see Michaela Williams. The hate for LSU is insane. Leaving out Michaela Williams is certainly a choice. You're not the only one that's noticed this.
Right. To me, even if it's because of the LSU and Mulkey hate, let them hate watch. It would be great for numbers. LSU is, in my opinion, between South Carolina and LSU, those are the 2 biggest brands in this sport. When it comes to fan base, when it comes to recognition, national attention, even if it's negative attention, LSU is getting attention and is growing the sport. One of the most watched games ever is LSU versus Iowa in the national championship, and LSU versus Iowa last season. LSU versus South Carolina every year. And Michaela Williams is 100% a part of why that class is going to be special. And when you look up and they're in the pros in 2-3 years, Michaela Williams is going to be up there with all of these names. It makes no sense. Give Michaela respect she deserves. And I think Flaugier even put out a tweet.
She did.
Responding to it, if you can pull that up. Because it's LSU and Mulkey hate, and for some reason it's going to make you leave off one of the most special talents in the sport in a docuseries that she should 1,000% be a part of.
Yeah, I didn't realize that this was getting so much run, and now it to be almost by not featuring her, you're getting more pushback than if you did put her in, because she deserves to be a part of this class and a part of the conversation.
Yes.
And now you're starting to see Like, you have some of the biggest names in the sport, like whether it be Michaela or like Flage tweeting about this.
Right.
It's like that's going to get national run because she has, I don't know, let's see how many followers, 130,000.
Right. And she's one of the most recognizable faces in the sport, if not the most recognizable face and name in the sport. And so and I'll even go down to say why not Malaysia Fulwiley at South Carolina?
Yeah, well, that's two of the biggest brands in the sport.
Right.
Like,
and to me, the
like,
three
say what you want
biggest
about South Carolina.
South Carolina, LSU, UConn are the three biggest brands. And say what you want about any of them. If you dislike any of them, South Carolina, LSU both have two of the biggest sophomore names, and it's pretty stupid to leave them off when it's going to add viewership regardless. But I'm probably still going to watch this just because of the talent that's shown and things like that. But
it's just the missed opportunity to promote the sport.
100%. And it once again shows the hate that LSU and Kim Mulkey get.
And I thought that was like
over.
I thought it had reached its peak. Yeah, after obviously a national championship, but anything that Kim Mulkey does gets attention. But it felt like it was already like LSU was on the other side of this, whether it be because they've lost 4 games this year,
right,
and you're not the number 1 ranked team in the country, and like she's already made her impact at LSU by winning a national championship. But it does feel like it had subsided at some point to where it wasn't as, I guess, contentious amongst the national media with Kim Mulkey.
Right.
But clearly that is not the case because she still, like, no matter what she does, she rubs people a certain way, whether you love it or hate it. But you'll see this happen again whenever it comes tournament time, and they'll have cameras just for her, just on her.
Yep.
The entire game.
I mean,
and wait for her to do something where,
that Kentucky shot is the best representation of it. Where whoever it is, I think Amore hits a shot or whatever, and the camera, it's missing the game. There's not even a timeout called. The game is still being played. That camera goes from the made shot, straight to Kim Mulkey's face. So, I mean, it's whatever. But to me, what a missed opportunity by the NCAA and women's basketball to not include one of the biggest names in the sport, who is the star of one of the biggest schools in the sport. I still think it's going to be cool to watch, these 4 names and how they take care of business at their respective schools, but LSU getting left off, I think, is just pretty stupid. Glimmer says, yeah, they showed it during the game Sunday. The 1,000-point scores in that class are Juju, Hidalgo, Crooks, and Michaela.
Yeah.
There you go. Like, what else needs to be said? Obviously, I think Booker deserves to be in the mix, but all that's saying is Michaela should be in that mix. Fonz says because she's at LSU, the national media hates LSU and Mulkey.
I thought that even if they do, it was a great opportunity to hate them.
Yeah, hate watch.
Right. Like
I hate watch all the time.
Yeah, like they still move the needle a bit. And Michaela Williams is not somebody that I don't think is considered like polarizing by any means other than her basketball game.
She plays basketball.
Right. Like you've never really heard anything from her.
Right.
The most emotion you've seen from her is when she was crying during the game. Yeah. Like, that's because she wanted to win. But like she's not somebody that I would think would be super controversial. Like I think it'd been an easy throw in for like, all right, we'll cover the team.
Yes.
Like if there's more to this story where it's like an LSU thing of like we don't want you around, I would be very surprised because they are
all about the cameras.
Yeah, they want the media attention, and they would definitely want Michaela to be featured in something like this. So it's a big swing and a miss.
100%, a huge swing and a miss. But I still think Michaela, maybe it'll add a little chip on Michaela's shoulder.
That's right.
Because, I mean, she 100% has heard about it and seen it.
She retweeted Flage.
Yeah, I mean, these things are not going to go unrecognized. And if it's going to be bulletin board material and a chip on Michaela's shoulder going into the biggest month of her life probably up to this point, let's do it. It adds a nice little extra piece to March in this run that LSU is going to try to go on. And I'm excited just to watch her kind of get the keys for the SEC tournament.
Yeah.
With no Flage, it's kind of, as Anissa obviously dominant and is going to be a big piece of it, it's kind of Michaela's vehicle. It was her car.
You've seen that transition kind of happen throughout the year with Michaela being the more dominant, I guess, the number one option. You saw it from whether it's Angel Reese to Flau'jae last year, where it felt like Flau'jae was kind of taking the reins from Angel Reese in a sense where it's like, all right, she's the star of this team. Now with no Flau'jae for the considerable future, at least the next, at least one game, depending on how you do in the SEC tournament, you'll see what that looks like without Flau'jae and see Michaela be she already feels like the number one option, but she'll probably be primarily ball handler, all of those things to where it's like it's her ship to run. And I would be hard-pressed to think that it shouldn't be regardless. I think it's become a clear-cut number one player, number one option, and her ability to score the basketball. And passing super underrated. I don't think people really give it a lot of credence because they're so enamored with how she scores it.
Right.
But she's a underrated passer for what she does whenever she runs the point. So that's something to continue to keep an eye on.
She's improved on the defensive end.
And she's better defensively, but just her offensive game is unbelievable.
It's so pure. To me, it's pure.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way she's not doing any extra moves. It's not any of this extra behind the back. The fact that she just uses the way she uses a jab step, to me, one of the simplest moves in basketball. She's just jab, pull, jab, dribble, pull up, jab, dribble, step back, pull. One-on-one is a one-on-one demon. That's why it's called 12 Island. But Michaela put out a tweet yesterday. It seems like the timeline kind of lines up for this to be a response to this this news. She says, this is Hebrews 10:35 through 37. She tweets, "Do not throw away your confidence. It will be richly rewarded. You need to preserve so that when you have done the will of God, you will receive what he has promised. For in just a little while, he who is coming will come and will not delay." So, obviously, to me, that feels like a little bit of a response to the next generation news and her being left off of the list. So, I'm excited to watch Michaela play basketball some more and maybe have a little extra motivation and chip on her shoulder. But yeah, Fawn says, haha, yeah, she's got a cannon for an arm. I mean, when you look at that pass she made, I asked Schwartz about this when we were talking about the Kentucky game from last week, where at the end of the game, when she hits that dagger three, she rips a pass, like a bounce pass, thread the needle to Flau'jae on a back door. That if Flau'jae, shout out to Kentucky's defense, they stopped it. This would have been an easy backdoor reverse layup bucket. Flau'jae makes the right play, gets it back out to her. Michaela hits the shot. So, Matthew Conkle in the chat. Kramer and Jacques were talking about this yesterday. Jacques said it best. Mulkey is 118 and 18. Nobody would hate her if she was 18 and 118. Hate you because they ain't you. They hate a winner, and Mulkey is that. So, women's basketball is off until the SEC tournament, huh? That's their next matchup?
Yep.
Will be against one of Auburn, Florida, Alabama in about a week or so. LSU men's basketball tonight, they head to Rupp Arena to take on Kentucky after a tough loss this weekend to Mississippi State. They're very much in the mix, kind of got away from them at the end. Cam Carter was electric in the first half. Didn't quite have the same in the second half, and he needed some help from elsewhere. Did not get it.
Has Corey Chest been playing?
Not as much. They've gone with this small ball deal, and it has diminished Chest minutes big time. Fountain just returned from injury, so the minutes diminished some more. Yeah, Chest minutes have not been the same since they've gone small ball because they've just needed – Chest isn't very, offensively gifted at this point. His skill level on the offense is not as high as
Robert Miller,
those others on the team.
Well, I only asked because of that report of – I don't know how much credence this has actually gotten, but that Corey Chest was being, courted by other teams in the NIL world to leave LSU.
I'm sure.
I was wondering if that, there's anything that you can draw, any parallels to draw from his minutes restriction, it feels like now, to actually playing somewhere else next year.
I would say it's more of the flip side. I wouldn't say his minutes are restricted because he's getting courted. I would say he's getting courted because his minutes are being restricted.
Right.
I think that his minutes are being restricted because LSU's gone all in on this small ball style where it's 4 guards and 1 big. And the 2 bigs right now that they've really been rotating are Robert Miller or Damian Collins. And Chess has kind of worked his way out of that situation. So He's a Louisiana kid. Obviously is from Louisiana. I think he's from New Orleans. He ended up going to play at Link Academy and committed to LSU and redshirted last year. He's definitely going to get calls, as will everyone else really on the roster. And he's also been dealing with some injury stuff as well. So it's still going to be a huge offseason for LSU as they continue on. But like I said, they play tonight against Kentucky, who is an up-and-down team. They've got some injury news as well, as one of their guys will be out for the remainder of the season. They haven't really been Kentucky of old, but they're an old, grown, mature team because they've got big-time transfers with the hire of Mark Pope from BYU. They brought in some guys that have been in college basketball for a while. So it'll be fun to watch them tonight if you want to turn it on, but obviously LSU baseball at 6:30 versus North Dakota State.
That's kind of where you are with the LSU basketball program and the LSU baseball program. We'd rather watch LSU baseball play North Dakota State than LSU basketball play Kentucky.
Yeah, 100%.
Which is tough.
It's very tough because usually the Kentucky game is one you don't want to miss. Last season, LSU beats Kentucky at the buzzer. And so, obviously, I'm still going to have the game on. I'm going to two-screen it because
it'll be interesting to see how we find the LSU baseball game.
Yeah, you might have to just watch it on regular TV. You might just have to go to the box.
Yeah.
That's the way you might as well save money by going to the box than paying for the streaming service. So get out there. Weather will be fine. Actually, I'm not going to be able to watch either of them tonight.
You got a basketball game.
I have to rewatch after, as Central High School has a second-round playoff matchup against Parkway from the 318. Parkway defeated Fontainebleau last week, so they're going to make the trip down today to take us on in the Den, as it's called, tonight. But we're going to close out the show real quick in a second. Do we have that? Do you want to play the Sporkle today?
I have it pulled. I have Sporkle pulled up. I forgot what. Oh, let's see.
See if we can find it. We're going to try to get one of these games in. Stress the show out a little bit, obviously. Andrew Messina said you'd have to pay me to watch LSU men's basketball.
Yeah,
I understand.
I'll watch it.
I understand. Matthew Conkle, when's the next watch party? Any baseball watch parties planned? We will 100% get on the train of baseball watch parties as time continues on. I guess this past weekend would have been a good time, but we had some different things moving and shaking. We're going to get those picked up. We'll let you know when the next one gets planned. But with March Madness for women's basketball coming up,
absolutely.
LSU baseball, SEC play coming up, the whole deal, we're going to get those watch.com. Code TIGERS, TIGERS, for 20% off. TIGERS for 20% off. Matthew Kong says the Texas Series will be great. I agree. That's a great opportunity for us to get back in the watch party. We'll get it done. But
see, this is making the stream go bad.
Is it?
Why? It's not anything.
Interesting. We've done this many times.
All right, here we go. It's fine.
We're good? Rocking and rolling?
Yes.
All right. So
what the fuck? Battle. Just a website.
Can they still hear us?
Oh, yeah.
We're trying to figure this out here, guys. This is weird.
All right, whatever. Let's end it.
Yep.
Miss y'all.
Technical difficulties.
Hold on. No, it's back. It's back. We're doing this. Let's do this.
Here we go. Here we go.
Quiz.
Here we go. All right.
We're in on Sporkle.
What do we have here? So, what is that? Does that say dog? It's kind of cut off a little bit on the top. Here we go. Okay. One name of Goofy's pet dog. Is that not Pluto?
Hold on.
It's okay. Take your time, no rush. It's good now if your stream is struggling. Refresh. Fonz is helping everybody out. If your stream is struggling, just refresh. Be rocking and rolling here in just a moment.
Little bump music. All right, I'm going to try to play the quiz.
All right. So the name of Goofy's dog, I believe, is Pluto, Pluto. Okay. What was the next question?
A Tenacious D. Two members of the band Tenacious D. That would be Jack Black and Kyle something. They're in a bit of a tiff right now, actually.
Really?
I don't know. Something happened. 3 forms of public transportation in NYC.
Subway.
Taxi.
Interesting.
Train.
Bus.
Railroad.
Interesting.
Bus.
There we go. Okay.
4 positions on all automatic transmission shifters
Perndle.
for cars. 4 positions on all.
Park, reverse, neutral drive. There we go.
We're crushing this. Oh, no.
What is this one?
4 largest cities on the island of Ireland. Dublin? That's all I know.
That's the only one I know. The 4 largest cities on Ireland.
In Ireland.
Dublin, Ireland.
Where's Conor McGregor from?
I have no idea. Okay, let's do the 6 TV shows in the Arrowverse. Oh, jeez. Arrow is one of them. The Flash.
Daredevil.
No, that's Marvel. What, Superwoman? Is Superwoman or Supergirl?
What's that guy?
Supergirl.
What, Superman, but it's the town.
Smallville? Nope, that was too old. Do Supergirl.
This is embarrassing for you.
How's this embarrassing for me? Because I watch TV shows.
Who watches the Arrowverse?
It's DC. It's like Superman and Batman. Do Superman and Lois. That one's a good show, actually. Take the E off. Nope, that one doesn't count. I don't know. Those are the only 3 I know, I think.
She-Hulk?
That's Marvel.
Batman.
Nope. I don't know if I know any other. Belfast, Galway. Just one L, I think. Nope.
Belfast. I didn't know that was an
Yep,
island.
that's a good one from Andrew Messina. They helped us out.
7 names of girls listed in the song Monica.
That's a
Trina.
Good question.
Monica in my life, a little bit of. Shout out Monica.
Shout out. Someone you remember. 12 NFL wide receivers with over 1,000 career receptions. Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, Terrell Owens. Wow. He didn't have 1,000 catches. Larry
Chris
Fitzgerald.
Carter.
I think there's no H in Chris.
Nice.
Larry Fitzgerald.
Yes.
What's another?
Who's Stokely?
Wide receivers.
Marvin Harrison.
Jessica, Erica.
What happened to Trina? I thought for sure.
Somebody said Des Bryant. Does he have?
Oh, that's my fault.
Des Bryant.
Des caught it.
Nope.
Des Bryant's at the. What about Chad Ochocinco?
Ochocinco. What about Mike Evans? Sneaky one.
Depends on when this was.
Yeah. 1,000 career receptions.
Oh, I forgot we're timed on this one.
Yeah, we got 5 minutes left.
We can get these 12. I'll be happy.
Yep.
Jerry Rice, Larry Fitzgerald, Marvin Harrison, Chris Carter.
Did you do Terrell Owens?
No, but I should.
Yeah. Who else?
What about Andre Johnson?
Angela, Pamela. Nope.
Angela Pamela?
Angela Pamela. Nope. Rita.
That's what
what
you're
thinking of. That's Trina. That's Trina. Wes Welker. Wow. You think Gronkowski has 1,000 career receptions? He's not a wide receiver.
He's not a wide receiver. We had Andre Johnson.
Yeah.
Did we do Fitzgerald? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of, like, what about Donald Driver?
Nope.
I'm trying to think of, like, guys that played a long time with, like, quarterbacks.
With quarterbacks.
Like,
Just try Gronkowski, see if it counts tight ends. Nope. No tight ends then. Okay.
only 12?
Marcus Colston.
No.
Oh, Torrey Holt, Isaac Brown.
Isaac Bruce?
Isaac Bruce, that's what I meant, not Brown. Somebody's name is Brown. Isaac Bruce, there we go.
That's what I was. What about the guy that banged that guy's wife? Steve Smith.
Oh, Steve Smith. Yep. What a pull. Somebody said Sandra Mary.
Sandra.
Yep.
Nice.
Oh, we're just missing one name from Mambo number 5. How many? We have 4 receivers left.
Uh-huh.
I feel like these are gonna be old guys.
That's
like
right.
Old. Like what's his name? Casper? Dave Casper? No. Maybe he might have been a tight end. What's the guy from the...
They didn't throw it like that then.
Steve Largent?
Maybe. What about Pittsburgh Steelers?
Oh, Hines Ward? There you go. Antonio Brown?
No.
Julio Jones? Are they going to be too young?
That's a good guess, though.
Yeah. Mark Clayton? Sterling
Clayton.
Sharp, Bruce Irvin, Reggie Wayne?
Yeah.
Reggie Wayne's a good one. Yep.
Mark Clayton from Oklahoma.
Anquan Bolden.
That's a great one.
That's such a good one. Matthew Conkle. There we go. So we're missing one. We got one name left. What else was on here? Irvin.
Magic Johnson.
Lynn Swan.
That's who
Lynn Swan's that's
who I was thinking.
AJ Swan. Nothing. John Stallworth. Anquan Bolden was such a good pool.
Yeah, that's a great pool. That's right in the. That's the kind of name I'm looking for.
Right. I'm trying to think.
Like Reggie Wayne, like possession receivers. Anquan Bolden might be the most possession receiver.
Yes.
Fitz.
Tim
Hines
Brown.
Ward. Tim Brown, maybe.
Yep. Okay, 8 U.S. states with no billionaire residents. Wyoming.
Louisiana. Oh.
Wyoming. Nope. Idaho. North Dakota, South Dakota. Nope.
What about West Virginia?
West Virginia.
Alabama.
Mississippi.
All the poor people. SSI, PPI. Oh. Arkansas. Oh, no, they got Jerry.
Yeah, they got Jerry.
Who's in Mississippi?
I don't know. Missouri. Nope. Minnesota. Just naming every state.
Yeah, you are just naming just small, like
Oregon, Vermont,
Montpelier,
Delaware. I feel like Maine. I feel like the Northeast is tough because they're all gonna have money.
Yeah.
New Mexico.
Nice.
Arizona.
No, there's some rich people in Arizona.
There's rich people in Arizona.
Utah.
Yeah. No, those rich Mormons.
Mm-hmm.
Nevada. South Carolina, Vermont. Yeah, Oregon has Nike.
Right.
Washington State. I can't believe Louisiana has a billionaire.
I guess it's tied.
I guess so.
Well, there's like 6 billionaires.
Iowa.
Here. Oh, we're out of time. Fuck me.
Shoot. So what were the other shows?
Alaska,
Bad
Delaware.
Woman, Black Lightning. Never seen those. Tina is the name we're missing. Not Trina, it's Tina.
Ah.
Alaska, Delaware, New Hampshire. I can't believe Alaska. How did we not think of Alaska? Kyle, you knew it was Kyle.
Kyle Gass.
Good job. Limerick and Cork, never heard of them. I think we could have got those movies, the Tom Hanks movies.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump, Castaway, Apollo 13.
Live action featuring Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks, bad person. I think we're all finding out.
I think it's becoming known.
Good job on whoever helped with the 7 names of girls listed in Mambo number 5.
Yeah, that was
that's an elite.
Conkle. Yeah, Conkle was throwing names out at.
I got Monica.
Yes.
And the 12 NFL wide receivers. That's the only one. There's always like one or two of these. Like, we better get it.
I kind of want to do another one because I'm kind of in that mode, but I don't want to waste another one.
Yeah, we only have so many of these.
Yeah, no. We made it to 8 for it. Look, Conkle wants to run it back. Shall we?
Sure.
We don't have to do another one of those. We can just find another one, huh?
64%.
That's what we got? Mm-hmm. That's not bad.
No.
What's the average? Did it show the average?
42%.
There we go. Above average. That's all you need in life. That's all you need in life.
I don't like to read them before. I just like to throw them in here.
Right. Yeah, of course not.
So I can't think.
Not. You want to be
I saw one
thrown
basketball
in the deep
question, so
okay.
I started it.
Let's ride. All right. The city with most museums in the world. It was just, we had that game against that Australian team, and they were telling us about rugby. And they said there's 2 types, and I don't remember what they were.
7-man and 11-man rugby.
3 players to win finals MVP with multiple
One
teams.
city with the most museums in the world.
Washington, D.C. I have the most museums in the world. Paris? London? Oh. That works.
Duh.
3 players to win finals MVP with multiple teams. LeBron.
Yeah, this is the one I saw. 3 NBA players to win MVP with multiple teams. LeBron James.
Who else won with multiple teams? Did Kareem win with multiple teams? Did he win with the Bucks or no?
Kareem Abdul.
Oh, Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard. He won with the Spurs and the Raptors. Who else? Union rugby.
Oh, Union?
Rugby union. Yep.
Oh.
Do class rugby? Rugby class? Nope. There's a lucky guess. 5s. God, multiple
5
MVP
NFL teams with red is their
teams.
primary color. Wait, 3 NBA players to win finals MVP with multiple teams.
Who else would be on that list?
Shaq?
No. He only won it with the Lakers.
Okay, Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne Wade won in 06. I'm trying to work backwards from finals. Wilt Chamberlain?
Who was, I guess it was Kareem that was not on the Lakers and got traded to the Lakers.
Yep, but Kareem wasn't always on the Lakers.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But they didn't really win many.
That's why they got him.
Yeah. But they might have won one. Try Chamberlain? Because he might have won one with somebody else. Nope. I'm trying to think. Steph won a recent one. Jaylen Brown just won the last one. Kobe was only with the Lakers. Paul Pierce was with the Celtics. Spurs all stayed together forever. Hakeem only won it with the Rockets. So this is going to be like pre-90s, I feel like.
See, I was thinking of like, I guess in this era. Like,
they're all saying Kareem, but I feel like, did we not put in Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
What did you spell check?
Like, I feel like that's...
I think that's how you spell it.
Yeah, no, that's right. Bob Pettit.
Oh,
you got it. It was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Okay.
Yeah, that felt right.
Okay, yeah, I thought so. What did he say? He said league rugby league. Is that what he said?
Oh, nice.
The 4 Below Deck spinoffs, they've had these in here. What was it? Below Deck Down Under. This is Hunter Hall, big Below Deck guy, obviously. Sailing Yacht.
This is awesome.
Let's see what else we got. Yeah, the Cardinals, the Chiefs, the 49ers,
Falcons.
There's one more.
That's what my brain can do. No, I know those.
Yeah, you just ripped it off.
See autism. Need one more red team.
Let's see what the chat says.
Cardinals.
Commanders. Nope.
What if I can't type in that word? Can I?
You have to try it.
Oh.
Nope. Get rid of it. You got to be fast.
6 most recent countries.
Below Deck Adventure. Hunter Hall is on top of it.
We got one more. You have to finish.
Come on, Hunter. Come on, buddy. Below Deck Mediterranean.
Oh man, it's tough word to spell. Mediterranean.
There we go. That's awesome. Hunter Hall just ripped off all 4 spinoffs.
Well, then one more team with red in their uniform while you're hot.
So 49ers, Chiefs, Cardinals. I'm about to just go through all the divisions.
Bills?
I feel like that would be blue, but you can try it. Giants? I feel like that's blue as well. Patriots, but I feel like that's blue too. Texans?
Mm-hmm.
You can try.
Oh.
Nope.
I thought for sure.
Buccaneers.
Yeah, Bucks.
There we go.
Nice.
Okay. 6 most recent countries
to host the FIFA World Cup.
Brazil.
China.
France.
Japan. France.
Nope. England.
Paris.
It's a city.
Italy.
Nope.
Rome.
Germany, Russia, Qatar, Qatar.
Spelled Cutter.
South Africa. Shout out
Nice.
to Andrew Messina, had all of them listed out. 7 Canadians have multiple Billboard Hot 100 #1 songs. Drake, Justin Bieber. He's Canadian, right? Yep. Who else is Canadian?
I don't know any.
I don't
Twain. She's not Twain. She ain't.
8 sovereign states of the Caribbean.
The Lesser Antilles.
Conference USA football. Who's in Conference USA? Is Louisiana Tech in Conference USA?
Who did we just play? Dallas Baptist. They're in Conference USA.
Yeah, but I think they're only D1 in baseball.
Oh.
Louisiana Tech, Marshall. Oh, the varieties of apples: Granny Smith, Gala.
Red.
Yeah, Red Delicious. What else is a popular apple? Honey Crisp.
What?
You don't know apples, Lloyd?
I've never really had an apple. What's the difference between a Honey Crisp and a Red Delicious?
Sam Houston is another one. Celine Dion. Neil Young.
No Sam Houston.
No Sam Houston.
Celine Dion.
Dion.
How do you spell it? There you go.
Yep. Liberty, Jacksonville
State.
Not Jackson State. What else is another? Bryan Adams. Neil Young. The Weeknd.
Ugh.
Disgusting.
Terrible actor.
No E right there. That's just ND. Yep.
Ugh.
disgusting.
Stupid.
Kennesaw
Makes me hate
State.
him more.
Nope. Alanis Morissette.
That's who I was thinking of.
That's who you're thinking
I had
of?
no clue what her name was.
Alanis. Yep.
Oh.
No, it's just Morisset.
M-O-R.
Just one R. I-S-S-E-T. E-T. Nope.
Oh, what about Jewel? Oh, fuck. I thought she was Canadian.
Okay, everybody's saying Neil Young, but would we not try that one?
I did.
Yeah.
What's the band that he's
Fuji
in?
Apple?
Fujikura?
Yeah.
What is what band is Neil Young? AC/DC?
Joni Mitchell. Nope. God, Conference
I don't know.
USA is killing us. Middle Tennessee, Western Kentucky.
Yeah, we know these. We just haven't focused on it.
Nope. Yep. Western Kentucky.
Hilltoppers.
TJ Finley. Tulane is in the American.
Hmm. Oh, 20 seconds.
Missouri State. Oh, we are down on time. Shoot. Jamaica.
Apple?
No, that was the sovereign states of the Caribbean, I guess. Bahamas. I just want to get one of those.
I don't even know what that means.
God, me neither.
Chile.
No.
Oh, there's nobody. They don't even have
give you the
answers.
Well, that sucks. We did good on it, 67%.
Well, I
The
can't
average
can't
23.
take a lot of credit for this. They knocked out the below deck.
Yes.
The rugby.
They helped us with the primary
Canadians
colors.
and
the World Cups countries.
Yeah, that was the chat.
That
Good
was great job, chat. Great job, guys. Appreciate you guys. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 7
Happy
to
Mardi
9.
Gras.
Happy Mardi Gras. Enjoy some baseball, some LSU basketball. And we'll be back to recap it all tomorrow morning, 7 to 9. Row back. Tigers, 20% off. Pet that dog.
Pet that dog.
We got power, you better call 50. Better chill like I reached like Wimby. It's not rocket science, shit you gotta know. We put them down like some dominoes. Wake up early, put the time in. Now I'm watching a Culotta show. Trying to send help when I come around, dog, it ain't worth.
Avril Lavigne. That's a great pool. Matthew Conkle. I was a skater boy. Said see you later, boy.
I'm still searching. I'm in their heads like a neurosurgeon. I'm everywhere like I'm Harold Perkins. Let's be stepping, we can never put on the same shoes. I've been giving L's like I know love and I can't lose. For myself, man, I can't lose. For my family, man, I can't lose. I grind hard and I can't lose. I'm stacking days, man, I can't lose.